We're off on another Daring Do adventure this time, but is it to be the last adventure? Let's find out with Daring Done. Rainbow Dash is shocked and confused to hear that AK Yearling is to retire from writing, and when she and Pinkie Pie pay her a visit to understand why, they learn that it's because she's gained a poor reputation in southern Equestria after her heroic escapades racked up a lot of property damage there. Not wanting to see her give up too soon, Rainbow and Pinkie set out with her to the village of Sonnambula to help put things right. This is another episode to be written by Gillian M. Barrow, and after her last offering, Fluttershy Leans In scored a 6 out of 10 from me, Daring Done is similarly enjoyable if very problematic. Starting with the good, the setup here is not at all what I was expecting based on the title and synopsis. I thought it was going to actually deal with themes of coping with series conclusion, that AK really was going to retire as an author after one last book, and I thought the writers could use these themes as another metaphorical message to both the series staff and fans and how it affects us. After all, as much as MLP is adored and has had a huge impact on our lives, we do all have to face the inevitable reality that the show will come to an end someday. Instead, we got another Daring Do story, which in this case I would say was a better and more suitable direction to go. A good portion of the time, the characters are written decently well. With her confidence shaken, there is a more vulnerable side to Daring that's quite interesting to see, as she's uncertain over whether she's got what it takes to be a hero again. Pinkie also proves to be funny and resourceful, while Rainbow remains consistently loyal and supportive throughout. And what's also a big positive here is that her actions are motivated not by her favourite author saying she's going to stop writing her favourite books, but by her friend being maligned in a way that she believes is unreasonable. She may be defending Daring Do, but she's putting AK Yearling first, and I thought that was really great. Continuing what started with Campfire Tales, we get another Legend of Magic story here. This time it's about a Pegasus named Sonnambula, whose kindness, compassion, and courage in the face of a greedy and cunning Sphinx gave her fellow villagers some much needed hope for the future of their society. As one of the residents explains how her legacy has been the most important and inspiring staple of their village ever since, we receive another intriguing tale that is a welcome addition to the Pony universe.
But Sonnambula never lost hope. She knew she'd need to make a leap of faith to save the prince. Guided by the sound of the prince's voice, she easily made it across. The pharaoh asked how Sonnambula prevailed, and she explained that she had always hoped she could make things better for her people, and that hope had carried her through.
I was annoyed, however, that neither Sonnambula nor the Sphinx were given their own voices. Instead, the narrator just says their words of dialogue himself as he tells the story, and it unfortunately robs them of any potentially great personality.
The Sphinx gave her the riddle. I shine brightest in the dark. I am there but cannot be seen. To have me costs you nothing. To be without me costs you everything. As Sonnambula thought of the hardships she and her fellow villagers had experienced, she instantly knew the answer. Hope! She shouted.
Hopefully, if either of them reappear later in the season, we will get to hear them actually speak. On the subject of disappointments, let's talk about where the episode goes wrong. Since Daring Do was revealed to be a real alter ego of AK Yearling, it's become somewhat natural to expect her episodes to have some elements where you have to suspend disbelief. And the last couple of times, it works, and you still get a really fun story. And it isn't like you don't get a fun story here, but there are some serious contrivances that are much harder to ignore. For starters, as some pony spreads lies and accusations of Daring Do stealing jewels from the villagers, how is it that neither Pinkie, Rainbow, or AK realise immediately that Caballeron is behind it all? He's not exactly wearing a stealthy disguise. Second, when Rainbow does reveal his true identity and his henchmen appear, she gets captured and taken by them far too easily. Now, as I've said before in my review for To Where and Back Again, I'm not against the idea of any of the main 6 being captured and held prisoner, as it proves that they're not invincible against all their enemies, and a rescue mission can lead to an exciting climax. The problem here is that for some reason, Rainbow Dash doesn't try to fight back or fly away from Caballerion. She practically allows herself to be tied up, blindfolded, and dragged away screaming for help. And it's more confusing than anything else. Finally, there's the steam vents that are used to propel the Leap of Faith message. Everyone's mentioned it, and yes, it does look like the most convenient solution possible. But I actually think this is the least contrived of issues. Now, I'm no expert in this field, but I just assumed that the ventilation had been there ever since the temple was constructed, and that they exist to help that bubbling hot slime maintain its temperature for how many thousands of years. And I have to wonder if Pinkie thought or even knew this as well. She is, after all, a very smart pony, even if we can't always explain how she knows so much. And she just used the Leap of Faith story to encourage Daring to be inspired by Somnambula, because encouragement and inspiration was what she needed to help her regain her self-esteem. This is all just conjecture though, and I think it's kinda like the eagles from Lord of the Rings. There's a good explanation there, it just isn't explained that well, and as such, it doesn't work for a lot of people. Honestly, I can attribute many of the episode's shortcomings to the writing style. Now, Gillian M. Barrow clearly has a keen understanding and passion for these characters and their world, and I really enjoyed the one where Pinkie Pie knows. But with this and Fluttershy Leans In, I feel like she's playing it too safe and easy. Maybe having written the chapter books for so long, which, although good, are definitely geared more towards younger children, she's become used to simplifying her stories somewhat. That's not a bad thing for her books, and some of Pony's best episodes are the ones that are just simple slice of life stories. But writing for the screen is very different, and some might even say harder than writing for the page. And this is where I get the impression that Gillian is not a bad writer, but she doesn't seem like a confident one. But I believe the potential is there, and with time and experience, she can and will improve with future episodes. For now though, Daring Done is certainly a mixed bag, but it wins points for some fun moments with its characters, the Somnambula story, and positive messages about never giving up hope in yourself, even when things seem to be at their worst. It could have been a great episode, but there's still enough here to make it a decent one. I'll give it a Silver Star score of 6 out of 10. So that was my more extensive than planned review on this divisive episode. Now I'd love to know your thoughts on Daring Done, so please feel free to let me know in the comments. Until next time, thank you all for watching as always, and keep shining on, every pony.